everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Indie Game Sauna. My name is Juho. I'm a Finnish independent game developer, and in this video series I review indie games. Today's game is called Twilight Oracle, and it is in many ways a trip down the memory lane. What's it all about? Let's go and check it out. As we point-and-click aficionados well know, the genre lived its heyday in the 1990s, and two companies were the supreme rulers of adventure games, LucasArts and Sierra Online. Me and many others were introduced to adventure games through titles such as Maniac Mansion, Monkey Island, King's Quest, Sam & Max Hit the Road, and many others. After the rise of digital distribution, the number of games that pay homage to those golden years of adventure games has skyrocketed, and Twilight Oracle is the newest addition to this bunch. Drawing heavy influences from the classics of the genre, the game provides roughly a 4-hour romp in a humorous fantasy world, which is a very distinguishable love child of King's Quest and the Secret of Monkey Island. Westwood's The Legend of Kyrandia series has also provided a fair share of its genes into the mix, which certainly isn't a bad thing. Twilight Oracle is an enjoyable retro adventure, but not without its problems, but we'll get to them. First, let's start with the positives. Twilight Oracle captures the spirit of a 90s adventure game spot on. Resolution is low as it should be, and the music track consists of MIDI-influenced themes that were very commonplace back in the day. The Guybrush of the game is called Leo, who apparently studies in a wizard school of sorts, but his grades are less than stellar. The headmaster of the school, the mysterious magistrate, gives him one final chance to redeem himself. Leo and 3 of his classmates are sent on a quest to find a renegade student. They end up on a weird planet, but the task itself proves to be something completely different. The story acts more of a backdrop for weird surroundings rather than the backbone of the game. Leo's adventure takes him from one odd place to another. The developers have crammed everything and a kitchen sink to the world they have created, and you never know what will happen next or where you'll end up. Sadly, on several occasions this is done with the expense of logic. While it's very commonplace that adventure games extend the concept of logic, there's always the danger that it will break. In Twilight Oracle's case, this happens from time to time, and it's very evident in the puzzles of the game. I found myself often in situations where I didn't have a clue on what I should be doing next. Usually, the solution did eventually present itself, but it had to be conjured into existence by the tried and tested solution of using every inventory item to one another. It's completely okay to play with logic, and in adventure games that's something that's often even encouraged. The internal logic of the game, however, should be intact. A good puzzle requires wits and thinking outside the box. Once you solve it, you feel like you've achieved something. When you have to brute force your way through it, the feeling is something else entirely. As a ballpark estimate, I would say that roughly a half of the puzzles fall into the category of logical, while the other half test your patience rather than your wits. There are no game-breaking puzzles or stuff that throws the last ounces of logic out the window, but in general, the puzzles could have used an overhaul before the release. If you can't or don't want to change the structure, there should at least be some tips on how to proceed. Despite the rant, I did enjoy my stay with Twilight Oracle. It's a decent point-and-click adventure, and the developers have done their homework with the classics of the genre. If this would have been released in the 1990s, I'm pretty sure it would have been remembered as fondly as those Kyrandia games I mentioned previously. If you want a trip down the memory lane, Twilight Oracle is exactly what you need. Thanks again for watching. If you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing for this channel. It would mean a lot. I also have my own indie game in the works, a cool 2D point-and-click adventure game set in an infinite hotel. The game is called Hyperdrive In, and it is already on Steam, so you can go ahead and wishlist the game right now. The game will launch in October 2024, but we already have a demo on Steam, so you can check out our infinite hotel well beforehand. All the relevant links can be found in the description, as well as a link to the Steam page for Twilight Oracle. But that's all for today. I see you guys again next week, but until then, bye bye!